Downton Abbey, the grand finale, which is the sequel to the one before, which I think was the New Era, third film of the franchise, returning director Simon Curtis, written, of course, by Julian Fellowes, usual cast, with Paul Giamatti and Dominic West reprising roles from the TV series in the previous film. I mean, look, if you're up to speed with Downton Abbey, you're up to speed. Jolie Richardson as a woman who almost faints at the prospect of royals being in the same room as a divorcee. The film also gives us Alessandro Nivola as a clearly good-for-nothing Yank who's got romping scoundrel written all over him, and Simon Russell Beale as this harumphing Sir Hector Morland who out-pantomimes Toby Jones's first screen appearance in, you remember that, in Orlando? It's just all face-pulling. And if you ask me what it's about, I'd say it's about 2 hours, although honestly, to me, it felt longer. So the story is the family and the staff. It's the 1930s. Mary has become the centre of a scandal because she's been divorced. And then the household have got to deal with disgrace. There is a funny line in which she says, I'll try and find a taxi that will take a divorced woman. They've got financial trouble. They've got to embrace change, move out of... So it's bringing all the things together for the finale. Okay, so here's the thing, right? I've never been a big Downton Abbey devotee, although I've seen the movies and the movies do exactly what it says in the tin. Obviously, Dame Maggie Smith is not here, but the portrait of Dame Maggie Smith, which is in the main hallway of the building, hangs over the entire proceedings with her kind of looking down as if from above. You have Noel Coward in this. He gains entry into the world of Downton because they're trying to rehabilitate a newly divorced woman, and they think the way to do that is to have a party that Noel Coward will come to. And at one point, Noel Coward, obviously not actually Noel Coward, sings a song. And when he was singing the song, it reminded me of that scene from The Meaning of Life in which Eric Idle's, not Noel Coward, does the song about the joys of having a penis. Which, you remember that song, which ends up with the line, but don't take it out in public or they'll put you in the dock and you won't come back. Thank you very much. 12A for mild bad language and sex references, and it all leads up to a kind of every single person gets their moment and their farewell. Now, none of this is going to surprise anyone who's a Downton fan. Obviously, what you don't get from Julian Fellowes is acerbic, biting social satire, despite the fact that actually, of course, all of this started with Gosford Park, which actually was quite spiky. There's Simon Russell Beale being horrified at the prospect of being contradicted by servants is about as acerbic as it gets. There's an overworked joke about the teacher turned writer who wants to meet Noel Coward, and then he does this thing about, you have to understand the thing about in Hollywood, the actors only say what they're told to say by the screenwriters, and he sort of looks directly into camera and says the screenwriters are the real heroes of Hollywood, which is very much a kind of, a nudge, wink kind of joke. There's also a sort of fairly heavily delivered line about the past being a more comforting place than the present. I mean, here's the thing. It's not very good, but it doesn't need to be. What it needs to be is a reunion of the characters for the people who are devotees of Downton. And an honest review of it would be, you've done it again, Julian. Well done. One line of dialogue and it says Julian Fellowes. For me, the whole thing is completely forgettable, and absolutely that thing about goes down well with a cup of tea, misses, on a Wednesday afternoon. But the thing that we should remember about it is it will do very well, and it will do well in a lot of independent cinemas, like the New Lynn Filmhouse or like the Act One in Acton, in which they're reliant to some extent on the older cinema goer, on the grey pound, on the cup of tea and a bicky audience, and they will like it. So there's no point in criticising it. I don't get it. I never have really got it. I like Gosford Park, but that was a long time ago, and that was in a whole different world. I think if you're going to go and see Downton Abbey, the grand finale, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get, dinner parties, and you're going to get visits to the theatre, and you're going to get people being outraged by divorce, and you're going to get, the world's changing and we have to do this thing. So, yes, Julian, you have done it again. Just don't do it again.
Well, having done, was the final countdown, is that what it's called? Downton Abbey?
No, the grand finale.
The grand finale.
Final countdown.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was something like that. So they can't really come back unless they're all wiped out. Is there something? Does a spaceship come down at the end and whisk them away to another planet?
Well, that would be a plot spoiler, Simon, wouldn't it?
Oh, I see. I love the fact that you said they have financial troubles, which I do feel should be put in inverted commas.
There is a funny line when they go to visit a flat because they're looking at buying a flat, and Hugh Bonington hears somebody. Hugh Bonneville. What did I say? Hugh Bonington. Hugh Bonneville. That shows how Downton I am. Here's somebody walking in the floor above, and he says, "What's that?" And she said, "I don't know. It's probably the family above." He says, "The family above?"
Yeah. That's like a weekend.
That's right,
that line.
yes.
But I think just hearing you talk about that, and you're absolutely right about the people who will go and see this and will enjoy it very much for what it is. When we were in the Harry Potter phase, and I mean the books here when they were coming out, and a lot of people were saying, look at how big they are and they need a better editor and look how vast they are. I think they got it wrong because there were so many people who basically just enjoyed spending time with these people. That's it. Yeah. And that's what it sounds like with Gosford, that
with Downton Abbey.
With Downton Abbey starring Hugh Bonington. Because we're right on top of this. Is that people just like spending time with them. That's kind of it, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't particularly, but then, it's not, in the words of Frankenfurter from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I didn't make him for you. So, here we go.